Okie dokie, let's get going with this. Oh, yeah. I think I went with Sack Northumbria when I did it. Hey, Shaddix. Sack Northumbria? I think I just tried to, like, kill off as many people as I can, as I could. As a bit of a... Oh, I might have gone for the relics. I remember going for like a faction across the water in the bottom left of the, like, in Ireland. They've got some castles there or something. I think I just wanted to try and do, like, see as much of a map as possible. Anyway, round 3, combined arms. I have been told by Dark that this has one of the best games so far. His exact words were, including what I think is the best game of the tourney so far. I don't know which of these games that is. We might not get to it tonight, since no one is here who is no one in chat is one of the players. We will go with Milkman versus Trip. Milkman, let me just remind myself. Combined arms for 3 years. Combined arms for 3 years. And annoyingly, I haven't got the combined arms. Runs a regular open array ladder.
Control
I want Trip. Oh no, Trip's the stat man. He's a stat man. Beep, ba, 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 boop. Right, so Trip gone for Mark, and Milkman gone for Eagle. GDI versus Nod. Acolytes, Venoms, some pretty potentially nasty sort of mid to late game stuff. Versus Eagle, rapid reaction. Those MLRS could be nasty. Those MLRS could be nasty. We'll see. Why is the music the same track? Okay. So Trip going for the bottom left oil. Where it? Milkman. Milkman, I feel like had a problem with capping oils in a round 2 game. Like he forgot an oil in one of the round 2 games. Now getting gold stacking settlements, so that combined with lacking gold sinks. I got 50k gold and high. That is a Berserks in AoE to get gold for killing like villagers and stuff, right? It's probably just a scenario thing. Getting gold for stacking settlements. It's probably just in that mission. Racetrack maps. Duck, can you send me the challenge link? I've lost it. I'll bookmark it. Okay, so it looks like Milkman potentially missed it. All right, we're only 2 minutes in. And I'm gonna restart that. That was a lot of fire, and I felt like that was a building there. We'll fast forward to the 1 minute 50 mark. That's easy enough to do, but I feel like I missed something there.
Battle control initialized.
I hit the wrong. It's a great start. It's a great start. Right. Where are we? Round 3. There we go. Click. I was on the wrong game anyway. Alright. Fuck it. Fuck it. This was game 1. This was game 1. We were watching game 2 anyway. Yeah. I deliberately missed what blew up because I realized we were watching the wrong game. And I didn't want spoilers. Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go with that as an excuse. So movement going as Russia, trip going as marked. Shut up. Don't play the clip. So Russia versus marked. Are we gonna see bikes? That feels like an open RA thing, right? That feels like an open RA thing. Oil. Now, I won't say you remember the oil this time, because this is, of course, the first game. We haven't seen any other games. We don't know what happens in game 2. We don't even know what map it's on, or what factions they picked. Ooh, Milkman. Build order there, buddy. I mean, it was deliberate. He built the second power so he could stick his ref over here. I guess. But he was very late on that ref. And not that it matters. Probably. No. But trips... it kind of does matter. Build order. Yeah. What was he late on? Yeah, okay. We had the second power out of Milkman, and Trip did a standard. I guess it's because Milkman wanted to build towards the oil. That doesn't sound very loud. So 2 Harveys each, both of them building another Harvey. Milkman ahead, but that's because Trip has a frying pan. Trip gonna lose your nice quick move out of both of them after the war. No dilly-dallying. Both of them gonna take out their opponent's oil. There's nothing in the BTR. And it looks like Milkman's definitely got an advantage. It catches a load of Trip's infantry there. Milkman in a very nice position right now, building a Katusha. Both of them building a radar. Comm center, same thing. We do have the protective laser. Not that it matters, but it's nice to see. Laser goes down. Power. Not that it matters. Can we get the MCV? No, we can wreck these. The laser behind. Got a bit of a distraction. And Trip does defend. Trip does end up defending. Oh, a bike. That could cause issues. There's a heavy tank coming out right now. Does he notice this? The rifleman wins versus the bike. That's actually quite funny. Ooh, we've got a pincer. This attack will get the harvester. This will miss that. Oh, the harvester discovers, doesn't move. Yep, pathfinding. Yep. Yeah. Shock trooper. What are we seeing? Temple of Nog coming out for Trip. For Mr. Man. another refinery after a move. Trip still on sort of his first expansion here. Harvest is dead. Another bike. I like the few shock troopers. You know, we have 6. They've got good range, good damage. Oh no, but Milton's army gets spread out. The light tanks go in, stopping the reinforcements from moving forwards because they're on attack move, right? And so the infantry comes in, hits the front line of Milton's army, wipes it out. On all of those infantry that were trying to run and reinforce instead of attacking the tanks. Real nice play. Another reminder why with tanks in your army, you definitely want to move them in. There was some discussion over this a couple of streams ago. Somebody saying, oh yeah, no, you can't crush infantry, not worth it. That's not why you rush tanks into the enemy infantry line. It's because of the way attack move order works and what and how it interacts with tanks. How your enemy's attack move order works and how that interacts with your tanks. Now there is work being done at the back here. But I don't know how long this game is supposed to last. Oh, Harvester on it, not doing anything. That looked pretty bad for Milkman. It's on a car socket today. Like an hour and a half of games. I've got a friend trying to convince me to go out, and me being quite tired and not wanting to go out, and then feeling like maybe I'll go out. So I don't know. I feel very tired in an hour. In the stream. Or the stream will have given me more energy. And then I'll start having a drink. And then we'll just like go through all of the games. Laser doing nice work. Tusha. Constant action. I mean, they're back and forth everywhere. Nice hit on the side. Few rocket troopers. I mean, that's fucking scrappy. 3 rocket troopers and a flamer. That's scrappy. But to get a harvester, pretty insane. Oh, it's actual fucking base walking? Holy shit. Wow, Katusha's doing good work. Milkman, sorry, Trip moving up the left-hand side there. Milkman has claimed the right. So Trip's eco not probably looking too good right now. Okay, no, it's looking fine. Milkman's just spending all of his. Double racks. Building air, power drop comes in, takes out a harvester. The MCV. It's got the death set thing. We've got stormtroopers for Milkman. We have infantry doctrine. Typical missile, Covenant of Zeal for Trip. Subterranean strike, that's what I was just looking for. I've no idea who's winning. Neither do I. I have no idea what's going on. This is quite exciting. A little engagement to the side. We've got our Hinds. Sorry, Trip, but barely. Why not hit the con? It can still swing. 100% it can still swing. These shock troopers are gonna do serious work. We might see the MTV go down. Movement is so broke. Why was it placed there? Why not place it back here? I don't understand that. People placing defenses forwards when they're just gonna get gunned down super fast. Buy yourself a few extra seconds and place it behind your structures. So the MTV for Trip went down. And now it's not looking good for Trip. Now it's not looking good. Both players are broker. Let's just say broke. Oh! Chem Warriors. Templar are OP. Improved cyborg armor. Commando. Down it goes. Boris is cancelled. And Hinds distracting the rocket soldiers there. But this might win Milkman the game. In terms of being able to expand to more eco. In terms of current eco, what are we looking at? 3 for Milkman. I have no eco at all. Have you got Tesla arcing? No. We're Russia. Tesla tanks aren't gonna hold it. Tesla tank comes out just in time. Needs to tie down the rocket soldiers. This game is insane. And a new MTV comes out. What the hell is that? Idol of Cain. Increase damage and movement speed of friendly infantry. Reduce damage and movement speed of enemy infantry. Provides vision. That was really nice. That was nice and scrappy with lots of fights all over the place.
Battle control terminated.
Lots of fights all over the place.
Battle control initialized.
with no clear winner for most of the game. Damn. Liquor. It's hard liquor. God. Okay. Right. Oh. Milkman in the top left. Trip in the bottom right. Trip saying marked. Milkman going with Eagle. Right, okay, so I'll slightly speed this up because being the genius that I am, I can predict exactly what's going to happen up until about the 2-minute mark. Oh yeah, it was the power that went down. Okay, so that's not the end of the world. I saw a very big fireball footprint. I was quite confused. I thought a ref might have gone down or something. So Trip is low power. Both are? Holy shit! Okay, so Milkman now is like on par with Trip, even though he killed the power plant. There's a nuclear device. Time is running out. Deploy!
Détruire tout. C'est une obligation. Détruire tout. C'est une obligation.
Alright. Connie gets killed. James, you missed just game one. Just game one of Trip versus Milkman. I haven't been going for too long. It was a very good game though. Very good. So it's okay, interesting. We're sending harvesters up here. Why? Are we building another one? No. APCs? Do we have a Vulcan upgrade? No. APCs aren't bad. Cool. Heavy armor. Probably better than our medium. Double bike. Concrete wall. He's gonna cap it. Okay, and he's gonna lose that one. Got a fight in the middle. Oh, light tank gets away. I mean, this looks like a Milkman victory, right? Fight. It looks like a nice surround here. The infantry doing a great job, but they're not attacking. They're not attacking Trip. Millman, you've thrown hard. What have you done? Still should come out of this with a win. This is bold. And there's no way Trip comes back from this, right? That hit advantage attacking the men? No, no way. This is the attack in the main. This is gonna do so much damage. Oh shit. There's only 3 rockets. This ain't gonna do jack. Holy fuck. Alright, the moles. Yeah, no, the moles are gonna clean up here. Moles of hover MLRS just so damn good. I'd kill the rats, honestly. That's not doing anything. Trip trying to build another war factory, but I mean, it's over. It's definitely over. Eco is 0. Yeah. I think Millman's a little bit scared. Maybe. Alright, at this point, Trip's throwing away money down here. Of looking at upgrades, what have they got? Seek and destroy. And there we go, that's the game.
Battle
A
control
nice
terminated.
one there. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Yeah. Well, 1-1. 1-1 on both great games. Both great games. Let me make a note of this. Milkman versus Trip. Okay. Korea versus Legado. Okay, let me grab some vodka. Let me grab some vodka. I'm a vodka. I'm a vodka. All right. Creo versus
Battle control initialized.
Legate. I should have put the vodka in first. Oh. What are we looking at? Creo going any because he's big, bold, and not afraid of anything. Legado going Talon, an interesting choice. An interesting choice to be sure. Right. So Creo gonna take out Zaggy's oil here. What are we looking at in terms of builds? Both of them pretty similar. Ape Intimidation. I mean, right now, if we just look at it, Legato building way more units than Creo. If anything, he's afraid. He's afraid of what Creo might do. He built all of his inf to protect himself. Both of them repairing the bridge. Traveler 59. Wonder if Creo is gonna build Devastators. They would just GG out at that point. So scared. I like the guard tower thing. Guard towers strongly approve that. Harvester might get out. Oh no, the body block! The fucking skill on this kid. Greg can never say without them. I got it. It's a bit late on that ref. Is he gonna micro this? Where'd the ref go? There we go. Okay. But Creo on 5 harvesters. Legato just got his 5th out. Okay. So, upgrades. We have gone Rebel. Not that you guys can see behind my camera, but trust me, that says Rebel. So that means gateways. Gateways. Scary. If I get one more volley off, yeah. Oh no, Legato. Legato's like what? Late 30s, right? There's this reaction time showing. His reaction time's showing. Very late on moving. Creo attacking in both places at once. Obviously gonna do the tanking. The miner lives? The miner got saved from the islands today. Uh-oh, a little bit of traffic jam. Harvesters kissing. Yeah, so I call them harvesters, not miners. Late 30s might have difficulty with the blues as well. Yeah, eyesight's going. Everybody should be forced to pound red and yellow. Am I right? Yeah. Oil goes down at the back. So Creo with 2 oils. to Legato's Legato's 0 oils to Creo's 3. Vulcan Cannon will do work here because these guys are on move command. Whoa. I don't know if Creo was looking for this or not, but that was nice. Playing Tiberian alternative at the moment. I keep thinking that MLRS should have AA, and then remembering that they don't in fact have AA. Barrel inspection. Yep. Oil goes down. And that army gets spotted. Army value 29 to 32k. About the same for both. What? It's quite loud, but Legato just doesn't have anyone near the mass required. Did I see these jump jab forward? Yes. He lost commando before he fired a shot. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Mispositioned. Those are yeah, okay, these are actual jump jets. Skill issue. I'm not liking the lack of expansion from either player, but I guess, you know, there's a lot of large scale battles. Now, this is probably going to be the end of Legato here. The split is very nice. Chris playing like an absolute god.
Rock and roll.
Commando doing work there. Nice job. Legato holds, but at what cost? Is that just the lights? Oh no, it's Crown Bridges. I'm not a massive fan of the vodka. Somebody bought it for me for my birthday. Not really my vodka. That fucking interloper coming back. Tripod's out now. Interesting. The Impalers are gonna do a huge amount of work here. Yep. And I think Legato at this point is just massively overwhelmed. Going on the offensive is the only thing the only thing stopping Creo from ending the game. I like these sneaky expansions. Quadrags. 14,000 from Creo. finally gets the interloper. Rip. Where do you go now? Bottom? Yeah, bottom. I think Korea's army is just too big to catch out of position. Yeah. It's a problem. Nagato's army is a third of the size. So no matter where he moves it, you can be guaranteed that Korea's going to have one army defending, one army attacking. And that's GG. Oh, damn.
Battle control terminated.
A nice try, Balagade. A nice try indeed. Let's see how he does in game 2. 16.5-minute game.
Battle control initialized.
So, factions. Korea going any, getting Traveler 59 again. Legato, gang of Tesla. Will his OP broken Kirov save him? Or will he be able to win this without resorting to cheese tactics? I don't know. This is the first time we've seen this map played this tournament. Gems and very few expansions. So is this a high intensity early game? High intensity early game with like not very much sustain, right? You got 1, 2, 3. This wasn't the map I thought it was. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trees. What's an early game? It's the bit where you build up your infrastructure and your backline to support your 4 Devastator warship production. Did gems only offer 1.5 times or 2 times in CA? I can't remember. You know, I'm honestly surprised that Legato hasn't decided to go for Grenadier Rush. $1.5, yeah. Any other asset viable? Nah, I agree. So 1 oil. This is Legato's, right? Yeah. So 2 oils each. Pretty much mirror builds. And Korea doing the sensible thing and giving a little barrel inspection now. Oh, there's oils in the middle as well. Okay, so 3 oils apiece, sorry. That makes up for the lack of expansion notes. Yeah. Prototype 3. I'm glad we all agree on this. Glad we all agreed and found out at exactly the same time. Otherwise, it'll be embarrassing because I missed it. Totally not the 2-second stream. Another oil gonna go down. Oh, I gotta pause it. I'll be back in like 90 seconds, guys. 90 seconds. Where's my little thing? Where's my little thing? Right. Apologies for the delay. Why can't I hear anything? Has the music stopped? There we go. Much better. We're dropping some. Yeah. I noticed a few frames got dropped earlier. Shouldn't be. Let me know if it happens some more. I've reset my little alert thing. Oh shit. Yeah, dropped frames 3,740. Hopefully that was while I was paused. 1.7%, but I assume that was all around a certain point. Okay, so BTR's getting in the fight. And all of the oils are down. Sorry, the front 2 oils are down for Creo. Is that game sound? The audio's delayed. You sure? You sure it's audio delay? Is it on your end? Okay, good. Nice work with the heavy battle tank though. Lots of Teslas. Shocks. Okay, can I draw your guys' attention to this? 14 shocks, 20 rifles. This is bad. You should have way more rifles mixed with as fodder. This guy called Legato told me that once. Good job this is not Legato playing, but somebody called 5-star Screen Sarah. Otherwise it'd be really embarrassing. It's a lot of shocks, yeah. I mean, I'm finding this game quite electrifying. They put up a fair bit of resistance. One could say that they're amping up the pressure on Creo. The more shock you have, the less rifles you need. That, yeah, no, I know. That's very true. Each shock is basically an insta-kill on an enemy infantry. Ah, this is very open. Sharing an expansion, how cute. Yeah, I think Big Brother Creo suddenly decided, actually, no, this is his expansion. But the shock troopers are doing really nicely here. Gunwalker goes down, but is there enough to defend it? What? Oh, he's trying to squish because he's only got crap here. Legato's broke his all fuck. The Tesla coil coming out. Please tell me that's being targeted. It is not. Do you want the harvester? Nothing's in that. Okay. Holy shit, he ran away. Now the shock troopers have got cleared up. These guys need to back off. These guys need to back off. These guys need to back off. He needs to... Very easy in observer mode to see that, but much harder in player mode to realize that you're basically being cut in half. As for upgrades, yes, we have rebels for Creo. Legato not with any doctrines yet. Shock troop. Are we gonna get Tesla trooper upgrade, or are we just gonna get lots of shocks? We've got an industrial plant somewhere. No? Okay. Somebody explain this to me. Why do shock troopers cost 382? Because there's a 10% discount. There we go. See, it was a pop quiz. I, in fact, knew what the answer was. I was testing you guys. Well done. Legato, you pass. Which is good, because you're in the game. Doesn't even have the answer test. Thanks, no. Somebody said last stream or 2 streams ago that studied 5 years. that Creo is a bit like Inno, who was a player in the last tournament a year ago, who was really strong. Creo, I think, is stronger. I think Dark said that last time. I was uncertain about it, but I believe that now. Creo is better than Inno was. But Creo, again, last stream I was, discussing Creo, and there was talk about how he doesn't really know late game that well. Now I don't know how true that is. I've got infantry doctrine here for Legato. I don't know how true that is. I don't want to say it with certainty. A lot of his games haven't gone late game because he's ended them so fast, or ended them, in the first 10 minutes before we have anything too technical coming out. But I think we're starting to see the cracks here. I haven't seen Creo do anything too creative in any of his games. He's an incredibly solid player. Lots of units and tech to learn in CA as well. Yeah, exactly. Boris doing an incredible job there. And I think at this point, Legato has the advantage. Not just in terms of, base, army value, eco, things like that. Army value, Creo's slightly ahead. Eco, income, Creo slightly ahead. But we're now getting into that early late game where Legato's technical understanding is coming out. Now, that's no guarantee. That's no guarantee of a win. I've Cloning Vat coming out. This will be I think the first time we see a Cloning Vat the entire series. Tournament even. Oh, good. Akirov. Skrin is the new faction, so I wonder how much Skrin. What do you mean is the new? Oh, you mean as an open RA player he doesn't know Skrin? Okay, apparently I haven't dropped any frames since I came back. So hopefully it's all good. Where'd that Kirov go? Not as good as an RA2 Kirov, sort of, but a little bit faster, less tanky, but drops bombs faster. Says he knows less about it says he knows less about those than the others, but you can still rifle, rocket, tank career as expert at that. Yeah. And here we see Legato cheesing with a Kirov. Did Kirov get buffed in the last patch, or is it one of those situations where not many people built them and so they just kind of haven't been changed or anything, but people are suddenly realizing that they're quite good? He's actually considered a tech player in RA. I expect that's why his early game is so solid, because to be a tech player in most games you have to have really solid early. You can't be rushing tech without early game like gimmick attacks, solid early game eco, solid early game army to defend at the least, good scouting, all the rest of it. If you're an early game player, then, and this is really generic, but if you think about it in these terms, if you're a late game player, then it means you have experience surviving the early game. And then you have experience like fighting in the late game. If you're an early game player, it means that you have experience fighting in the early game, and then you have experience losing in the late game. Really generic statement, but you know, you see where I'm coming from. I think early game players are more impressive because I can't do that. I think late game games are way more interesting because you've got that unit variety. Now let's have a look at upgrades. Just Impaler. That's something else I think was brought up. I'll just pause it. Creo, not really using upgrades very much. Test Trooper, Legato. And this is very much over. Nice little sort of push down here. I'll slightly speed it up. And this will make it 1-1. We'll have a look at the little bracket afterwards. Because I think this... If Korea might have lost one other game, or this is his first loss. I'm an early game player, as I always lose in the end. And there you go, there's the GG. That was a really interesting one. No one makes sense. No one knows how to play against him. Yeah, that makes sense. Where am I looking? Let us have a quick look here. Some note of Gato versus Creo. So Creo here in round one against Who Cares. Again, certainly not a pushover. And Creo against, was that 10 gun? Or was that Dark? I think that was 10 gun, wasn't it? And then 10 gun backed out. Dark played 2 series. Yeah, there you go. Dark versus Sindril. Dark replaced by Sindril, and Dark there. Only missed 1.5. Yeah. Let's leave this one.
Battle control terminated.
Yeah, I've got 6. I hit the wrong button. Well done to Legato there. He did well. Did Legato win lose any other games? Sorry. Let's have a look. No, 2-0 versus Grey Armor. And 2-0 versus... Thank you, whoever that was. 2-0 versus Hands. Batu, cheers for the titty bitties, man. Appreciate that. Right. Any other requests? Red Alert 1 with mods. It's OpenRA best. CA. OpenRA is like fan-based recreation of Red Alert 1 and CNC 1 made back in like 2010, 2011, before the remaster. Totally open source, totally free. And then this is a mod built on that called Combined Arms, which takes CNC 1 and Red Alert 1 and then adds on top of that Tiberian Sun, CNC 3, Red Alert 2, units and Skrin faction, and has a giant campaign that's still being updated. 10 out of 10. Definitely recommend it if you're a CNC fan. One of my top 3 mods. This, Dawn of the Tiberian Age, and Red Dead Smeg's mod for Tiberian Essence. Those are my top 3 of all time. Fan base remake, yeah. Let's go with, if there's no requests, I'll just work my way up the list. We've got 6 series, we've watched 2. So we've got Oops versus 2FA. This should be an interesting one.
Battle control initial.
It should be an interesting one. Any versus allies. In the next round of the group stage, if you guys still top 2, will you play against each other again? I don't know if there's going to be double. I assume no. But that's a good question. You won't play versus the same person twice. Fair. To be fair, given that it's top 8 out of 24 moving forwards, it shouldn't matter. Right? Because if Legato and Creo are both top 8 material, then that means there's 6 other players who are also top 8 material. And if Legato and Creo both, let's assume, completely destroy their opponent in the next round, that doesn't... Well, it might matter, actually. Yeah, it might matter. It should come out in the wash, though. It should come out in the wash. I think there's enough players that your top 8 will be 8 of the top 10. Let's put it that way. Of the players who've entered the tournament in terms of skill. Let me just... I foolishly changed the sound earlier. Let's do that again. So yeah, any talons. So we've got Wolverines, Juggernauts, Titans, which is nice. And then France with their Grand Cannons. Stromberg is very good. You haven't played him. Remember the Grenadiers Legato. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Legato was knocked out of the last tournament by Stromberg, who... Did he Grenadier Rush game 1 and 2, or was it just game 2? I can't quite remember. And I'm pretty sure the game he Grenadier Rushed, he went double Grenadier Rush. Like, he went 1 BTR and then followed it up with a second. Or the game just ended very quickly, like by the 5-minute mark. It was one of those Grenadier Rushes that Legato just it didn't come back from. But that tournament, Legato was hardly building any infantry at all. And every time I cast CA, I remind myself to set it as little commands or a little button so I can throw it up. But I've forgotten to bring up the... you're watching a sophisticated thinking man versus an unthinking infantry ape. And that was Legato's sort of tagline for that tournament. He has since moved away from that. And it's working well for him. Tournament after not playing for about a year. Went in no practice, so I had no idea what I was doing, except I know Dark and the tanks are good. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point to make. We have seen very little in terms of Skrin armor this tournament. Impalers, with the Skrin siege tanks, seen very little of those. Skrin has been played very basically by everyone. I think we've seen more Nod than last tournament. Oopsie daisy. Are there any Skrin mains? Most people in CA have multiple mains. At least from what I remember and my fact sheet. As in, they might have a Skrin main, like a Traveler 59, but then they'll also have Russia, or Great Britain or whatever. Most people who are CA veterans aren't picking the same faction twice. They're picking 2 different factions, or they're going any. I don't think we'll see Juggernauts. I don't think we'll see Titans. We will definitely see Exo drops. Wolverines, I don't think we've seen at all. As for allies, the entrenchment is the engineer upgrade that allows you to build defenses around engineers, which is pretty damn nice. Don't know if we'll get to see it. Nothing in there. IFVs. Somebody made IFVs look OP in round 1. I can't remember who it was. They filled the IFVs with loads of rocket troopers and played it a bit like Mental Omega. It was one of the men. Was it Thunder? Can't remember. I'm a Scrim main. Yeah, but you've been picking talent a few times, Legato. Anyway, MLRS coming out. What do we have in terms of seek and destroy, search and destroy? Economy 5 and 5, pretty nice. Expansions, both of them have. I'm gonna call it 1. Okay, he's got 1. Yeah, 1. Army value 8 to 11. FA. Okay, I thought I had something on 2FA. Yeah, I do. 2FA's been playing for 2 months. Oops has been playing for a lot longer. Oops was good last tournament. And that was 14, 15 months ago. So. Prism tank, good. Just try and retreat it. The MLRS doing great work there. IFV says it's got heavy armor, but it never feels like it. Nowhere near enough infantry. 2FA, what the hell happened? I think he just teched. And that was the issue. Yeah, I mean, he earned about the same, give or take. He spent a lot less. The Commando would have done some work. The MLRS got some very lucky hits at the start. And obviously this is over now. There's a GG. I mean, they're both teched. I slightly missed what 2FA did to put him so far behind. Army value? He was lagging behind. I guess the fight was here. Oops just attacked on his power spike. Great timing. I'm gonna put it down to that. Can we see? Yes, absolutely. Production structures. Oh wait, you mean like how many he's got? Just one of each. Juicy Grave. Oh yeah, yeah, 100% man. Earnings was, I mean, hang on, let's have a look. Can we line these up? 4.5 to 6.5 minutes. 4.5. Yeah, 2FA's army value drops. I have to assume that 2FA
Battle control
forgot to build
terminated.
units. Gotta remember, guys, I'm not an OpenRA or a CA multiplayer guy.
Battle control initialized.
So a lot of the time it's not gonna call it educated guessing, because that makes me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. What I do is keep my mind open to a lot of different possibilities and then wait to see what actually happens. That's what happens. That's my casting technique in CA. Anyway, oops, going with any, getting England. 2FA decides to pick Black Hand. Again, I want to mention I love the fact that in CA tournaments, players experienced and new, and this applies to the last tournament as well, pick any or any allies on a semi-regular basis. And that applies to experienced people and new people. There is so little try hard as far as I can see, and it's kind of astounding. Certainly compared to Red Alert 2. Complete opposite ends of the spectrum, and I'm pretty damn sure very different to Kane's Wrath as well, from the little I know of that. Don't know about OpenRA. That would be an interesting one to know. I don't know whether it's CA or whether it's all of OpenRA. It's just a bit chiller, a bit more sort of community focused, or whether it's a CA specific thing. England, meh. I think really we might see some snipers, might see some Mirage tanks. Veil of War might get used. Black Hand, on the other hand, yeah, we'll see. Flame tank drop, possible. 2 oils per, yes. 1 safe each, 1 mid each. In OpenRA, but if the IV has around 27,000 HP, a Mammoth has a 90 and a Death has 24. I have no idea what the numbers are, and I don't know what the... Yeah, I don't know how any of them relate to each other. All I know is armor types. Even when I play Combined Arms, I look at strong versus and weak versus and just build stuff based off that. IVs can frontline, but not as well as MBTs. Yeah, I mean, you assume even with heavy armor that it's an IFV, right? Versus a tank. They might have the same armor type, but there's no way they have the same HP. Same armor as the medium, same armor as the heavy, same armor as the light tank, same armor as the APC, same armor as the interloper. They're all heavy armor, which is ideal versus rifle length, which is why they're built. Okay, Mirage tanks, cool. Radar coming out from Oops. Temple coming out from 2FA. Yeah. IFV is not meant to be a frontline damage sponge. And I think it works much better when it's used as DPS. Either as hit and run or as anti-armor. Obviously you can stick different things in there. A spy will give it like a, will make it a bit like a gap gen thing where it can target enemy units and make them take more damage, or yeah, I think that's it. Tan your IFE goes without saying. stealth tanks. Okay, so expansions. None. Really passive game. RPS damage system. Yeah, I was thinking that earlier, Sludge. I don't know what the numbers are. If you are machine, I mean, it's not going to be light armor versus heavy armor, but I don't know what the different gun values do to different armor types. It could be each unit has a specific multiplier versus each armor type. Yeah. Okay, longbow. Random longbow. Just for scouting. I hear a garrison. IFEs. Very nice. Starcraft is a simple version of the system. 4 damage types. Yeah. Yeah. Tension is building. Yeah, that's why I'm taking the opportunity to pour a drink now. Both players very calm. Very chill. Okay, we are seeing Black Hand Troopers. Black Napalm upgrade. Gives SSMs anti-armor, anti-heavy. I think. Have a look at the army value of that. We've not ready for commando. I mean, I'm surprised. That was in the last. Oh, we'll see when this comes up. Ooh, that was rip. After you kill the commando, and a longbow would be great. Yeah, okay. That's I mean, it didn't go down, but it didn't go up, which means on that trajectory he lost like 2k worth of units because he was in line to keep up with 2FA, if not go slightly above. Tanner IV, prisms, Comanche, stealth Comanche, one of my favorite units in CA. That's another reason IV is so good. They make you immune to commandos and your rocket troopers immune to rifles. So all of a sudden your anti-tank is really good, and your anti-air. That might discover them if 2FA is not careful. What are we? Stealth tanks, stealth harvester upgrade. Okay. Peacemakers. It's also England, so sniper. Sniper's not normally built. Like, I haven't seen them built sort of early game or early mid. But now is the time when snipers would be really, really, really nice. Really nice. And I'm quite surprised that Oops A hasn't set up on that cliff, and B hasn't got a mobile sensor array. Or is that GDI only? This is gonna go very badly for Oops. As I said, very badly. We have cryo ammo coming in now for Oops, but too little, too late. We've got defense policy. Harvest is going to go down. I'm not sure how much longer this is going to go on for. That graph doesn't tell the full story. Okay. Tiny IFV. I mean, talk about OP, right? Two peacemakers as well. 2 FA on 8 harvesters versus 5 for Oops. Oops should probably get those back up. The hell? Prisms. Inferno bombs. 2 FA. Didn't know about that power. And only 1 Rax, 1 War, 1 helipad production for 2 FA. Where's that? He could just be using them as A10s. It could just be as A10s. Yeah. I mean, they're not ideal for it, sure. They are rearmed. 2,500, making a third. Crazy. I mean, they're anti-building, right? No, they're anti-defense. 2 wars out. Yeah, he is making a third. I think he's using them for anti-army. I mean, they're a great oh shit unit. Okay, they're not great versus infantry. Fair. But it's still a carpet bomber. You've got your defensive line up there. And this is really quite chill. A lot better options. It's not about what they're good versus. It's the ability for them to get anywhere on the map really fast and guarantee kill a target. That's what I mean by oh shit options. And now he's building Harriers. To be fair, actually, I'll take it back. Harriers would have been a better bet. Yep, I know. I just described a Harrier. 100%. GPS finally used. Or finally popped. This will give Oops a great idea of what's going on. Where to move. He's building more Harriers. I'd love to see another helipad. I don't know if that's touching either. Lost 2? Lost 2 peacemakers there. These SSMs are an absolute nightmare. And the IV goes down along with the Tanya. As does the Harrier. Support units down here. Mobile radar jammer, mobile gap gen. And I think this is looking pretty dire for Oops now. These SSMs have been a massive problem. So allies can't get mobile sensor arrays, right? I think I complained to Dark about this a while ago. Yeah. Typical missiles, is that it for 2FA? Yeah, okay. And howitzer. Interesting. I didn't notice that earlier. Cryo. great. All right, run. Too little, too late. Too little, too late. What else are we looking at here? There's really nothing. Rifles, nah. I'll speed it up slightly. Okay, I'll slow it down. Oops is somehow defending and has 9 Harveys. Like, you know, we've seen players come back from worse. Was it Milkman versus Duke the other day? Milkman versus Duke, where Milkman was winning hard and Duke sort of came back in the last sort of 90 seconds. 2FA has an okay, now he's expanded. It's been a while since we looked at production, but honestly not much has changed. We saw when he had 2 war factories up. He's now on 2 war factories. He's on 1 racks. He's very broke. Cyborg's a bit of an issue for the imp, but there's basically an anti-armor. Not microing the fucking mediums onto the stealth tanks. This might be a comeback. Tanya. That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Four stealth tanks. I mean, they might get something, but not really. Nothing of much value. Never seem to be able to get a big army because of constant fighting. I mean, oops. I can't believe he held 2FA. I think just he never really went in for the kill. And his army just seemed to kind of drop in terms of... He won a massive fight. You can see it here. But... that was the fight. But then... oops remaxes. Nah, remaxes. Re-ups. Super fast. And 2FA doesn't. Why do I think that is? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versus 1, 2, 3. Please let me be right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh shit. Okay, I'm wrong. I was hoping that Oops had more eco. Maybe he did. Not also not great at anti-armor. Somebody needs to add avatars into the game. Am I right? Or are avatars already in the game? All Purifier has been around for a while. No, doesn't show up on the build queue. And Oops is now in a scary position. Oops is... God, Oops has been has an eco, has been able to re-up. And I think just from a mentality perspective, 2FA's got to be feeling a bit scared. He's like, I've tried to hit this guy. He put it, okay, good. I thought he did. I thought he did, Dupin. Oops has survived over and over. 2FA hasn't been able to crack him. Yeah. Hasn't been able to crack him, so he's feeling demoralized. In before Oops gets his front door caved in, and 2FA wins. Probably. Peacemakers now. Yeah, I mean this is now over. I don't care what happened. What happened now? It is absolutely over. No fucking way. Keep the air up and away from the pad. How? Like... Oops has lost his MTV as well. That's what I was remembering. But I think now it should... Oh, for the love of Christ. Don't tell me Oops now has a larger army. Fuck's sakes, man. Oops. Jesus Christ. Problem nod. I mean, especially Black Hand, right? It doesn't do the cyborgs too well. Oh, there we go. But both go down. Holy. Is this it? I mean... Hopefully. Should be.
Rock and roll.
I think 2FA's production is kind of letting him down. I mean, his eco couldn't handle more production, but honestly, at 25 minutes in, 24 minutes in, he should have... I mean, this was a very late expansion. Probably because he thought he was going to win and then didn't, and then thought he was going to win on the next try and then didn't, and then thought he was going to win on the third try and then didn't. And so moved. Maybe 2FA should watch my streams more, because I win on the first try every time. But no, actually, I'll be too fair to 2FA. Maybe these weren't real tries. Maybe these were practice tries, like mine. And so that last attack was the first try. Damn, that was really, really good. That was different as well to most of the other games we've seen. Right. I am going to go to hang on. Oops, that's survey. Right. I'm just going to the bathroom. I'll be back in. Right. Okay. 2FA versus Oops, game 2. Oops, sticking with... no, we just saw that. My bad. My apologies. I'm losing my mind. Oops versus 2FA. Okay, what should we watch next? What should we watch next? Do we want... Gavin versus Kasib. Kasib is Kasib YFAB? Or am I getting mixed up here? Or we can have Cassius versus Duke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. I've done Milkman, I've done Oops, and I've done Rio. Or Hans versus Altera. Oh. Hans versus Altera could be a good one, actually. Both 20-minute games. Jesus. These are all long games. All right, let's do Hans versus Altera. Let's do Hans versus Altera. Hans versus Altera. It's got to be done. There we go.
Battle control initialized.
Okay, so Talon versus Harbinger 31. Look at that, boys and girls. Devastator Warship, 10% discount. Let's see if Altera decides to build it and take advantage of his faction bonus, or if he is a student of the Legato School of Combined Arms, and decides that hang on a minute. Is there another Scrin faction that gives Devastators a bonus? Because I could have sworn one of them did, like Traveler 59. I might be going insane. It's quite possible. I am an old man now, unfortunately. Once you hit that big 3-0, everything goes downhill. You think 25 to 30 is bad and things are going downhill, and they are. They're like your last good years, but you know in the back of your mind that they are your last good years, and also everything's slowly going downhill. And then you hit 30 and that hill becomes like a sheer cliff face. And I can only assume 30 to 40 is the free fall. You're 41. Well, I hope I'm like you when I'm 41 and still interested in CNC. There you go. An inspiration to us all. I forgot to add vodka. See? I told you I'm going senile. It's not very much vodka. I just don't have any other vodka, but this vodka's disgusting. I checked. Harbinger 31 gives 10% discount to Devastator, so you aren't completely lost yet. I know Harbinger 31 gives 10% discount to Devastator. I can read that here. My question was if a different faction also gave Devastators some kind of discount, because I thought Traveler 59 did. Yeah, I am lost. Oh, okay. I'd rather blame it on age than the alcohol. Because age is something that, you know, affects us all. Whereas alcohol, I'd like to still feel like I can hold sort of my own like I could when I was in my 20s. Welcome for days. Love this. Like, when I started streaming, I used to go out partying a lot. And probably none of that. I didn't stream on YouTube. But there will be some Red Alert 2 casting that was edited and put up on YouTube. And I would drink quite a lot because I'd use it as pre-drinks before I went out to parties. And it was quite fun. Niet certainly knows what I'm talking about. Biz maybe. But in the last couple of years, I've settled down. I really never noticed. Yeah. Like on it wasn't common, but on several occasions I'd start drinking at midday and then go out at midnight. Having said that, never stream drunk. It's a personal line for me. If I feel like I'm sort of inebriated, I'll turn my stream off. And I've done that, I think, twice, maybe 3 times in the last 5 years of streaming. You know, there's having fun. And I'm pre-drinking to go out to parties, and I can be drunk when I'm with friends and at nightclubs and stuff. But it's not, in my mind, I'm not okay with doing it when I'm streaming. Other streamers can do it. I've got no problem with that. But for me, it's a personal rule. When you're drunk, when you play the dating game, I said drunk, and then I changed it to sort of inebriated. If I don't feel like I'm sort of in control, Sir Durbantine, thank you very much for following, my man. If I don't feel like I'm sort of in sort of control of my actions and thoughts and words, and I might say something stupid or do something stupid or that I might regret, then I will definitely end the stream. If I'm tipsy, I'm fine with it. You know, that's fine. You aren't in control. How can you control yourself to end the stream? Because I would notice it on that dividing line, Dupin, I suppose. If I feel myself going to that point. Experience, yeah. I've never had a good relationship with being drunk. I almost, as a sort of student, I would always get quite ill before I got drunk. So I've very rarely been exceptionally drunk. Never blacked out or forgotten nights out and stuff like that, because before I get to that stage, I will normally end up having to run to a toilet or river or something like that. Yeah, I've always been able to draw that line. Age, didn't you only turn 30? Exactly, Biz. Beginning of the end, but like on the wrong side of the gate. You know, 29, you're looking at the gate and sort of before you walk through, that's, you know, that's all of the good years. That's fun, that's freedom, that's youth. By 30, you step through that gate and you can't use the excuse of being in your 20s anymore. It's cool knowing what you can and can't do. It's fun watching you for months. Glad you read alert. Oh man, I appreciate that. I've always been a CNC streamer first and foremost. So I just started doing during COVID, Red Alert 2. Been playing Red Alert 2 since I was 5.
Time to rock and roll.
Always have a place in my heart. Last year was the golden age of streaming Red Alert for me. I spent an entire year doing mods and stuff like that for CNC, all of them. And unfortunately now, I've mostly burnt through them. That link there should send you to a read-only Google Sheet with a list of CNC mods from CNC 1 to CNC 4, including Red Alert, Tibsun, etc. So if you're interested in CNC mods, go check that out. It's got 300 mods, 200 maybe. Hasn't been updated for a year and doesn't include every mod on the planet, but it has a lot. Anyway, sorry, I should focus on the game. Not a huge amount has happened. Subtle things have happened, but nothing too major. Played Rise of Legends. Isn't that a mobile game that does adverts and stuff? Nice engage, nice use of the MLRS there. Aware of this, or you're just enjoying it? The community for Combined Arms is fucking fantastic, man. Oh, Rise of Nations. Let me get back to that in a second. So we've got infantry and mediums on the right. They should be able to take out that. We'll see what the Corrupt is able to do on that imp. On the left, I'm surprised that Hans managed to walk away with so few losses. Can he take out the Corruptors before they take out... Yes, he can. I thought more of the imp would go down. And on the right, I'm surprised that Altera managed to hold for so long. What do we got for upgrades? We have Rebels for Altera. No gateway used that I can see. Colony ships can deploy structures on the move. Well, that's not going to make much of a difference right now. We do have strategic bombardment for Hans, level 2 on that. So that's an extra 10% or 6%? 3 plus 3%? 3 plus 5? I think it's changed in the last patch. Finally with the Impaler... Ooh, god, they shoot slowly. So I never played Rise of Nations as a kid, ever. And I played it for the first time like a year ago. Year and a bit ago with some friends, because it's got no multiplayer. Baneling, that's gonna do a lot of damage. Fuck. That was an awful lot of damage. Rise of Nations has no campaign, which I've got no problem with in terms of raiding a game, but for... Ooh, Commando getting some value there. Got a radar. We've got what was that? Rise of Legends has a campaign. Ah, remind me about it after I finish this game, Legato. I'll update a different list. Okay, so we've got the colony platform top left. Conyard? Were there 2 Conyards? These banelings are... when they connect, they are so powerful. And the AoE damage is huge. Tying on its own. Fuck me, that is so many AGTs. Bloody hell. Risk Light campaign does it. Any flanking attacks? No, not that I can see. Not having a campaign doesn't make a game bad, but I think, especially if I've never played it before, and if I'm streaming it, the issue is I probably wouldn't stream it for very long. It would be like 1 to 3 sort of sessions of 4 hours. Because once you've done 4 to 12 hours, and I think 12 hours is a lot. And Altera GGs. I'm aware I was talking and yapping a lot through that. I mean, that was death by 1,000 cuts. I think Hans was probably going to win that throughout. Man, all of these games today, all of them today, have been very different to the ones played in round 1 and round 2. Pretty much all of them have been way more chill at the start, way more not passive, but calm. And none of them have ended with basically one big fight and yeah, GG, it's over. All these games fun to watch? Yes.
Battle control terminated.
I'm really liking these. They're different. Now let me make a note of Rise of Legends. On is list the mod list or no, that's the wrong list. Rise of Legends. Rise of Legends. Okay, and then let me just this is what I wanted to post. This was the CNC mod list. My apologies. The other list is a list of games, which I have built out. Go. Cool. Right, so that was game fucking 1. Real damn impressive out of Hans. Hans gonna stick with Talon. Altera sticking with Skrin, but changing to...
Battle control initialized.
Oh, Traveler? Yes, Traveler. Cool. I can recognize it. Definitely no Devastator upgrades, just as I said. Okay, I'll have a look at Rise of Legends then, Legato. Appreciate that one, thank you. last year as well, and the start of this year, I went through a lot of old school RTSs, sort of 2000 to sort of 2008, 2010. Empire Earth, Empire Earth. Crap. I don't have GOG open, so I can't check. Biz, what were those sort of World War III sort of Act of War? Act of War, the predecessor to Act of Extinction? Act of Aggression. Yes. And then Act of War. Act of War was absolutely peak. Like the first one, the expansion wasn't bad, but the first one had the cutscenes between missions. It felt very CNC because it was tongue-in-cheek humor. I really enjoyed that. Test. Cool. And then Biz, what was the one like Act of War, but also like Warno and War Game that I did like 3 months ago? Can't remember. Anyway, I spent most of last year doing CNC mods and old school RTSs. So much fucking fun. Modern Conflict, thank you. They will always be my favorite video games. So we have one oil at the back for each player, one oil in the middle for each player. Hey, Turtle. Seen where the mecha suit punches a guy, then the driver just whips his gun out for the death blow. Act of War and World in Conflict to your top 10 RTS. My issue with World in Conflict was the whole like spawning units in, like Warno, like War Game, like what was that game that came out recently that people were saying sort of first modern RTS that looks really good, etc., etc. Which I almost bought and then didn't. Broken Arrow, yeah, and then didn't. It's a semi-rt. It is an RTS, I suppose, but it's not the Age of Empires, StarCraft, CNC style RTS. No base building is kind of a soft line for me. I've never enjoyed Company of Heroes that much. Dawn of War. Dawn of War and Dawn of War Winter Assault. Played the original of last year. And then played the sort of remaster a couple of weeks ago. Dark Crusade. Tried last week. Not a massive fan. No campaign. Really. It's just a series of skirmishes. And Soulstorm looks the same. So I'll play a campaign of each game. But after that, I'd probably never go back to it. No base building at all, but the campaign is pretty fun. I'm willing to give games a try if people recommend them and they say it's like pretty fun, even if there's no base building. I said it's a soft line for me, not a hard line. Is in the same as Dark Crusade, yeah. Which I'd never tried until last week. I tried Dark Crusade and I thought, yeah, look, this is really fun. For like 2 or 3 missions. The assault, the sort of HQ central tile of the enemy faction is a mission, sort of. But after that, it just kind of feels like every mission is a skirmish. And that means you're building the same units every single mission. And the only difference is the faction you're playing against. And doesn't make it a bad game, just means I'm not too interested. I just get too bored easily. Too easily bored. Warzone 2100, that is on my list. Shit, sorry, I should really be focusing on casting the game. Sorry, guys. Double War? No? No Double War? Warzone 2100. No, I don't think I have, but I'm pretty damn sure it's on the list. If you remind me at the end of this game, I'll double check. because whenever I finish streaming a game or a series, I will always line up whatever I stream and play next based off of what people suggest. Army tab. Army value 10 to 8.5, so close enough. Altera's favor. Army tab, 2 lacerators. I mean, going to probably not get much else. 2 interlopers, that's going to take up 2k worth of supply. 1600. Watchers. They're like spies, right? Yeah. Couple of Ravagers, few Disintegrators, mostly Warriors. So nothing too exceptional. 6 Harveys for hands, 5 for Altera. Altera, I see it. And down there, so we'll see. And let's take a quick look. We've got 0 expanding from Altera, 0 expanding from hands, apart from the opposite. Right, let's see how this goes. I'm expecting Altera to move in down here. No rocket soldiers. The interlopers are going to wipe the front line. That was a control A attack move. I'm sorry, what? Altera ran from that? If he'd held his ground, he would have taken out more. Fucking hell. Tormentors don't get anything. The Tormentors? No? Okay. Never heard of a Tormentor before. That was a Buster. I think the Buster was like being built specifically for that. Moves quite fast. The reason I said hold the line, he held the line anyway, but he ran away, which means there was time that he wasn't shooting at his enemy and his enemy was shooting at him. So many players in different RTSs, not just this one, I think make the same mistake. They will run away from fights even though they know they are going to lose a lot or all of their armor. If you believe that, there's no point in running away. Stand and fight. You'll still lose your entire army, but you'll take some of the enemy with you. Difficult call to make, and you'll never get it right all the time. But I feel like a lot of players who should know that don't seem to know it, or don't seem to try it, or don't make the right call very often. So I try and call them out. The Busters are fucking OP. Mormels, double war for hands, by the way. I love the defenses. Hands likes to build his defenses. Altera not of any army. It's deceptive. 10k worth of units. 14k. I think his problem is eco. Yes, his problem is absolutely 100% eco. 5 harvesters for Altera versus 9 for hands. Income 6.5 to 6.8. 3k difference. Who's top player in your eyes? Off of my very, very limited CA knowledge, Legato and Creo going up. probably.
Scorched earth. Give him help. Help.
I don't know a lot of players. A lot of them are new. You are, I don't know, I know pretty damn good. Assuming, Derpentine, that you're the sir that's playing. Wait, no, you're not the sir that's playing. That's a different sir. I saw him in chat earlier. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah, probably Legato and Creo. Stromberg could pull out a victory though. Who cares? On paper, I think should be top 3 or 4, but hasn't really shown it. But then he's had rough opponents. I think it was against Legato or Creo in round 2. So it's possible. And Stromberg is a sort of wild card. He does pretty much the same thing every time he plays a game, or one of like 3 things, but he does them really damn well. Most people don't seem to. Okay. MLRS, very out of position on paper in theory. I was expecting Altera to be able to walk down on that side and get a lot of damage done before the Imp really got into the fight. Altera instead decides to start to run away and then go back in. That's the worst thing you can do. Army value here, Altera half of hands. So we'll see. Okay, so Altera gets out of that without much lost. I'm pretty fucking stunned. Just nobody. Force shield on the MCV there. Central army gets cleaned up, but mech army on the right, I mean, should be able to handle that. I don't know. There's no inf in there, so it's a bit of a 2/3 army there. Wait a minute. Hold up. Hands you this build against you. Looks over. I mean, the Devastator. He's building a second one. We better get the burster cam. Where? I didn't see a burster. Is there a burster? Got like 15 infantry in the main. Oh, well, as long as you guys saw it, that's good. William Murray is fucking iconic. I missed the action because I'm admiring the Devastators. And let's just have a look and see how much value these guys get. 1400, 1300, 1200. Alright, well, we'll never know how much value we got because I misclicked and deselected. Again, a very different game to the stuff we saw in round 1 and round 2. How many expansions did Hans get? He started here, and I know this map doesn't have quite as many in it. You have a sort of 3 tree here and here, but we're not seeing players expand that much. Altera sort of never went this far forwards. A little bit, but not much.
Battle control
So,
terminated.
yeah, the games are way more sophisticated thinking, man, as opposed to brainless infantry ape. Did I do Operation Sandstorm? Did I do both of Hands and Altera or just the one? I did both? Cool. Okay, I thought I did. Yeah, I know that's game one, but I mean, for some weird reason, I think it's because they're both desert maps. Cool. Told you I'm going insane. Versus Hands. Cool. All right, next one on the list is Cassius versus Bones. Devastated on the brain still? Absolutely. Let's go.
Battle control initialized.
I mean, you see an air unit come out. I mean, there's nothing more beautiful. And you know why? Because air units are the bane of tanks. And everybody knows in a CNC RTS, the main unit to build, the only good unit to build in a CNC RTS, tanks. Infantry, absolutely trash. And that is how I will play every CNC and their mods and offshoots and their relations under pain of death. And that is why Combined Arms kicked my ass so many times. Yeah. Dark telling me that he could do sort of GDI, it's a mission 17. It's the iconic one, which is based on the sort of CNC1 mission where you've got the ambushed convoy. I think it's the second or third mission of the GDI campaign in Combined Arms. I was having real problems with it the first time I played it. Problems being like after 45 minutes, an hour, you know, I sort of solidified my position and I knew I could win, and it took me another half hour, but it should have been much faster than that. And Dark said, oh yeah, you can do this in like 35 to 45 minutes with info only. I was like, no way. I didn't know Dark at this point. I didn't know anyone in CA. I had very little CA experience. And he sort of quick played the mission, sent me a unlisted YouTube link a few days later, and sort of watched through it and thought, for fuck's sake, you know, infantry OP in CA. So Bones going with any, getting marked, certainly not a bad faction to get. Cassius getting Ukraine. I'm not sure there's much there that's particularly exciting. Is there a team color mode for spectators? What do you... Oh, that's an interesting point. Player relationship colors under display. Change minimum and health bar based on relationship. Nope. If there is, it probably doesn't let me change it during like mid-game. Red Alert 2 tournaments, players are forced to go red and yellow. Some players go blue, but the point is, you know, very different colors. For tournaments, that is. Creo and Legato had 100%. These are the same colors. So Bones, top left, Cassius bottom right. Bones, based off of round 1 and 2, is the higher rank seed. Excuse me. Yeah, higher rank seed. Cassius, I have notes on Cassius. Been playing CA for a little over a year, and he went 1-1 versus Bubbly Boo. He went 0-2 versus Thunder. Thunder is relatively new, but is playing quite a lot. 6 weeks to 3 months, I think, for Thunder. So I'm not going to hold that against Cassius too much. Cassius might have a year's experience, but he might have not played in a very long time. Thunder is like 12, 18, something like that. Plays a lot of Red Alert 2 Mental Omega. So if he's playing this for six weeks, 3 months, he can probably pick it up pretty quickly. So I think Cassius is probably better than his score has given him credit for so far. As an MO alumni, yes. Well, Cassius has a life. Thunder is a teenager. I mean, you know, Cassius has work, family, you know, friends, mortgages, taxes, holidays, bosses, you know, all the rest of it to deal with. Thunder's like, haha, you know, I'm gonna go to the shops with my allowance and buy a lollipop. That's his touch grass to the rest of us. Yeah. So I seriously think Cassius is probably the most underrated player based on their points so far. I say hesitantly. Thunder has really surprised me. Other people might say impressed. I wouldn't want to give Thunder too big of a head or an ego boost, so I won't say that. So Bones is moving with a quite sizable bike rush on the bottom. What do we got for army value? Bones 20% ahead here. I genuinely hope at the age of like 40 I'm still playing CNC games. If I'm not, something's gone very wrong in my life. Can he genuinely get that? No fucking way. That. Real damn impressive. And Duke, even without the value advantage, should win this. This is right next to his production. Basic power for Cassius. Yeah, 200. Is that 50 power? I mean, it's low powered, so I assume it is, but I thought it was like 40. All factories 40, right? AFK harvest up. That's the first large bike rush we've seen so far in the tournament. Lots of infantry sped out for Duke. Duke is an open RA player, I believe. And all of his games so far, even the ones he's won, have felt slightly awkward. And like he was missing things. I haven't felt particularly fluid either. This felt good. This felt like he came in with a plan, came in with a build in mind. It hasn't really solved his problem because he sort of went for an early game rush. Whereas the other games where he won or lost and they felt clunky, went on a bit longer. So maybe he hasn't learned too much, or maybe he decided, I know what I'm good at, I know what I'm not good at. I'm gonna try early game pressure, and I'm not gonna put too much effort into late game CA. And this is the result. He's to attack move. He's to... There we go. Thank you. And it's very much over. You can send half this army to stand in front of Arax and nothing will ever come of it. Cassius, I believe... have something, Cassius. Yeah, well, no, good game from
Battle
Duke.
control terminated.
Cassius tried. I realized I got that mixed up. I haven't got info on Duke, I've got info on Cassius. Cassius has been playing for a little over a year, but might not have had much experience recently. Duke plays a fair amount of open RA. So it's probably a little bit more au fait and comfortable than Cassius is. And something like a Bike Crush, open RA, CA, shouldn't make much difference. So nicely played. This is a 21-minute game. Quick bathroom break. I might see if I can find more alcohol. I will be back in 1 minute. Okay. Cassius vs Duke game 2. Let's go.
Battle control initialized.
Can't find any more vodka, much to my great sadness and depression. Duke top right. Cassius bottom left. We have not seen this map today, have we? He says with vague certainty. 4 oils, 2 per, with a hospital on each side. Factions. Mirror match. Okay, we've had, I think, one of these so far in the tournament. GDI versus GDI. Can't remember which faction of GDI it was. But yes, definitely GDI versus GDI. Round 2, I think it was the first set of games I streamed in round 2. Doesn't seem to matter too much in CA. Certainly doesn't happen very often in CA. But I think mirror matches, yes, they can be really boring in a lot of games, a lot of RTSs. But they're also a really good sign and a really good showing of player skill. Not all the time, but in theory they should be. These maps are pretty much mirrored along a line between the two players. So all things being equal, the maps are, you know, the land around their spawner is identical. The factions are identical. And so it absolutely comes down to the player. Production speed, production queue. It's queued. Build orders. So yeah, we've got this. Okay, so Duke went low power. No, he didn't. What the hell? So Cassius built an extra power plant. Earlier. Oh no, sorry. It was the kennel. My apologies. I'm only used to Stromberg building a kennel. Never seen anyone else in this tournament build a kennel except for I think Legato in round 1. Yes, round 1 somebody built a kennel which wasn't Stromberg. I think it was Legato. Anyway, Forward Command Center. Really bold. We haven't seen anyone do this tournament. Capture a Forward Command Center and then build a ref off of it. And now I look. This is Duke. What? Oh, why? So that was Duke's ref. This is Cassius. This is Duke's command center. This is Cassius's. Why would you build a ref? I mean, as opposed to... Sure, okay. To take away some eco, in theory. It's the only reason I can come up with, but it doesn't feel like a very good one. No repairs on the flame turret. That should survive if it's being repaired, but it's not. Dude, what the hell's going on, buddy? Dude, I mean, if it takes that out, then great, but nothing's going for the rifleman. Whoops. In terms of oils, we see Duke with 1. Has not captured that. This is not the first time Duke has missed an oil, and he is the only player, I think, in a tournament so far to miss an oil. And this is the second time he's done it. Maybe the third. I don't think anyone else in 2 full rounds plus today has missed their oil. They've at least sort of tried, right? And this is second or third time Duke has forgotten. Whatever. But it doesn't seem to be... it's $400 a minute. What? 1, 2... Yeah, okay. 2 oils for Cassius, 1 for Duke. He is finally sending an engineer there. The colors make things very confusing here. Cassius in theory should win this. Duke running away, the BTR causing some issues. There were quite a few rocket troopers there. I think in theory, Duke could have won that. If he microed down the BTR, rocket soldiers, or if not won, then sort of Pyrrhic victory that. Duke with 7 harvesters. Okay, good. At a redeeming feature and quality here. His eco should be way higher and certainly scaled much better. So earned is the same so far, 6.5 minutes in. Not sure when Duke just capped that. Not sure when Cassius capped his second oil. Let's call it 2 minutes in, so 1,600 bucks ahead. Basically nothing. Good fight, but Cassius is in a choke. Never gonna win that. Doesn't even get a harvester, so absolute win to Duke. Is chat still alive? Am I still alive? I unmuted myself, right? Cool, okay. Cool. Somebody said something in chat like every 10 to 30 seconds all stream. And I came back from trying to find vodka. And ever since then, the last 8 minutes, no one said a thing. I was just like, I really want to make sure it's still going. You guys can be quiet. That's absolutely fine. Wanted to check. Okay, so Duke finally going with a radar, and he's expanded to his second expansion. I try and use StarCraft terms here, but it doesn't always fit well. Cassius is way ahead of him, but his harvester count is less, and has been for a while. It's starting to show 10% difference here. I don't speak English, so I just watch from the shadows. I mean, that's totally cool, that's totally fine. But I don't speak English, so I watch from the shadows. Sounds like pretty damn good English to me. So either you're trolling, or you're like a lot of German people who sort of say, oh no, I'm really sorry. I hardly speak any English. I only learned English for 7 or 8 years when I was in high school between the years of X and Y. I then spent two weeks in Edinburgh for this, that, and the other. But I haven't been able to practice my English for the last 4 days. So I'm really sorry, but my English is terrible. You know, and you're like, yeah, sure, buddy. Oh, you're using Google Translate? Okay. Fair enough. Cool. What do you speak, Shaddix? What language? Spanish? Ah. Oh, Yuri? I think Cassius is dead, but he might be able to hold right now, but he is definitely dead. Spanish, no hablo español, habla inglés, por favor. That is the only thing in Spanish I can say. Which means sort of, I don't speak Spanish. Do you speak English? I think Cassius is very much on the back foot here. Army value, I mean the same, but Psyops versus Psyops, yes, of course. He's got heavy rhinos. Okay, upgrades. What have we gone for? Infantry for Cassius. But he's putting quite a lot of money into mech. Duke has gone for armor. Difficult to say which is better here. Duke. How many rockets do you have? A fair amount. 9. He might just about win this fight. Oh, I thought that was Duke. Sorry. The colors are way too similar. Yeah, no, Duke has absolutely won this. It's just going to be a question of how good Cassius can defend. I know there are a few plugins. I don't know how good they are. Some of them are very bad. But some plugins for Twitch, not so much YouTube, can do voice to text and then translation instead of real time. But I haven't been able to find any voice to text which are any good. The 2 or 3 that I've tried have all been pretty bad at putting subtitles on my stream. So I sort of gave up. I'd love to be able to do live translations. Okay, so Cassius gonna sell out here. It's the beginning of the end. I'll speed it up. Production still only 1 war, 2 racks. Eco wise, income 10k, almost 11, which is quite high. Cassius on almost 10, which is not low. But I mean, it was a slow and painful death. And I think in CA it. Ooh, hang on. Was that was genetic mutated bomb? That is Cassius's. Yes, that must be. Yeah. Look how good brutes are. You can't really tell, but they're really good. Cassius still going with Apocalypse. Nice. Lashes or rhinos? Didn't bother with lashes. Improved genetic mutations. Duke going Apocalypse research. Cassius doing infantry. I think infantry requires you to be kind of winning it a little bit, or at least be sort of in a neutral position. Cassius lost way too much eco to go with the infantry doctrine. He also only ever really had 1 Rax, I think. 2 racks, which if you're going infantry doctrine, I think you've probably got to have 3 racks before you go doctrine. If you don't have 3 racks, then you're not really, your build isn't really for infantry, right? You haven't got, you're not really sort of planning for Imp Doctrine. This is all Cassius. That's Dukes. But that's Dukes. The rest is Cassius. Color's really annoying. Color's really annoying. I don't know why they're not forced to do different colors. I might mention it to Dark. Apox, bloody love him. Cassius coming in here. Hang on a minute. Army value is actually the same. Dukes. Okay, Dukes is 4k higher, but hang on. Okay, let's have a look at this for a second. Dark blue, Cassius. Light blue, Duke. All Duke. Basically all Cassius. Just came back to Apox. What a treat. Apox are like the devastators of the ground. So Cassius should kind of... I mean, should absolutely lose here, unfortunately. I think this was a last charge. I think this was a last huzzah. I hate them now, thank you. Oops. Don't worry, Legato. Soviet Apox have nothing on GDI Mammoths. In CA. GDI Mammoths are just cooler. Soviet Apox, probably better in every single way. But GDI Mammoths, chef's kiss. Plus Orcas. Also chef's kiss. The best army you could ever have in any RTS. Apox plus air. Mammoths plus air. Firebomb? Yes. How do you feel about Atomic Apocalypse Eradicator tanks? Atomic Apocalypse. Chef's kiss. Eradicator tanks? Meh. They're not bad. Okay, so. This is Duke. This is Cassius. Okay, Cassius, Duke. Duke's gonna win. Eradicators are quite good, but rule of cool, right? Apocalypse, especially Atomic Apocalypse, past the rule of cool bar. So, you know, very rule of cool. Yeah, Duke was winning for quite a long time there. It was a slow bleed. Cassius put up a good defense. It wasn't that Duke was scared to go in. Cassius really tried, which I love to see. You know, and this was never going to work. But if Duke's army wasn't here and was over here, or there, or wherever, out of position, then Cassius could have done some nice damage, and who knows what would have happened. So, you know, it ain't over till the fat lady sings, right? Cassius did a really nice job there.
Battle control terminated.
Yeah. Apocalypse tanks, based. Rule of cool, absolutely they're covered by it. Atomic Apocalypse, upgraded rule of cool. But Mammoths, oh, Mammoths, they can't be beat. So that was That was both Cassius and Duke games, right? Yes, it was. Cassius versus Duke. Oh. And then the final one is going to be Gavin versus Kasib. 16-minute and 14-minute. Cool. 30 minutes. All we've got time for this. Let's go.
Battle control initialized.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we have Gavin playing as Talon. Quite a popular faction this tournament. Maybe Dark has stats for it. I don't know. Harbinger 31. Ooh, Devastators. Nice. Fox and Gavin. Neither of them are sort of top 4, top 8 players, but both of them have been impressive so far in some of their games. I haven't got anything for either of them. I don't think. No, I don't have a fact sheet for either of them, unfortunately. Is which ad stop trying to reconnect. Ad stop trying to okay, fair enough. Cool, that's fine. They're both Russian, that's all you know. Okay, cool. So yeah, they both chose their faction. Why does this say Scrin Harbinger 31 and not just Harbinger 31? I assume that's just like a, you know, a naming thing. That doesn't mean any Scrin, right? And Fox ended up with Harbinger 31. I know that Gavin is a Muscovite and a student of psychology. Been playing CNZ for some years. Kasib has also been playing for some reasons. Oh, that means it was any screen. To be fair, that seems like a bug report. I'm not gonna lie. Like. There we go. Cool. Years, CA, not CNC. I'm fading out. Not a lot of sleep. No worries, my guy. No worries. Hold on, Legado. I had to wake up early to play Creo. Where's Creo? Oh, Creo's Sweden or something, right? He's EU. And you're Cali or -8. Creo's plus. You're -7, Creo's +2. You know, summertime, I guess. It's like, yeah, Gavin top right, Fox bottom left. Gavin's been playing CA for some years. Or Oh, sorry. Okay, they've both been playing CA for a number of years. Oh, you're East Coast? Oh, okay. I mean, you've still got sympathy for having to wake up early, but not quite as much. 3 hours less sympathy, to be precise. Right. Yeah, so Gavin has this tendency to build in sort of squares, which I impulsively want to call bad. But in Combined Arms and OpenRA, with the whole sort of build radius thing, is actually probably quite good. And given the lack of super weapons in Combined Arms as well. Compared to Red Alert 2 or CNC3 Kane's Wrath, where no one in their right mind would ever do this. Early as 10 a.m. Ah, I see. Don't worry, Legata. I know you're old and you need to, you know, get to bed by 7 o'clock and wake up at sort of 9. You know, it's fine, buddy. It's fine. Nah, I mean, playing international games, it sucks. You know, it's fine if you're young and you're a student, or you're sort of, you know, 25 or even 30. Whatever. It's, you know, you can survive it. But if you're sort of, if you're not that, then disrupting a sleep pattern can be a real pain. Non-build super weapons in Kane's Wrath. The cat missile alone stops you from building. Okay, support power sludge in CNC3 Kane's Wrath would, you know, you'd never build two powers next to each other. That's my point. That's the other thing about this tournament, and the last one, is that scheduling games, apart from the like one person who disappeared, like completely disappeared, hasn't spoken for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Apart from them, all of the games have been played. Zero drama, zero complaining, zero aggression, zero bitching, etc. Compare that to Red Alert 2, which I know very well. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a singular tournament hosted by anyone in Red Alert 2 in the last 5 years where there's been no complaining, bitching, aggro over scheduling games. CA, people are so goddamn nice to each other. Alright, Fox going in here, but might not engage. Humvee's coming around from the side. A-Tang gets a nice strike. Not outstanding, but certainly good enough. How many rocket soldiers do we have here? None. Okay. And only 2 grenadiers. Scheduling all the reasons why I'm on the periphery of community these days. Community of which community, Sludge? Sieve needs to harvest the transfer right now. Yes, he absolutely does. Most RDS games, yeah. Living in Australia is rough for like just scheduling literally anything, not even gaming.
Time to rock and roll.
I mean, it's... What is it? I mean, Canberra... It's British summertime at the moment for the Northern Hemisphere, and Australia's winter time. So we're an hour ahead, they're an hour behind. I think sort of Sydney and Canberra is like 9 hours ahead of the UK at the moment. When the Northern Hemisphere goes winter and the clocks go back, Australia suddenly becomes like plus 11. It's 10 a.m. at the moment. It's 01:15 for me. So you're 9 hours ahead, yeah. And then in winter you'll be 11 Because you go forward, we go back. You know, UK versus US, 5 hours East Coast, it's not that bad. California, I mean, 8 hours is rough, but a lot of it, I mean, it's not as bad as 11. It's about as bad as you get before it gets terrible. I love living in the UK. We invented time, and so, you know, with being the center of the world, it's really easy for us and convenient. Fox just outgunned there. Not much he could do. Couldn't run away. Actually, very good idea to take the fight. As I was saying earlier, if you think you're going to lose and you're not going to get much or any of the army out, stand and fight. Because if you run, you'll do no damage and you'll die. If you stand and fight, you'll still die, but you'll do some damage. Literally a zero, you know, zero question decision or a zero issue decision. Ooh, no. Baneling? Baneling's not so good versus Exos. One harvester goes down. In the middle, Gavin doesn't have enough rockets here, I don't think. Nope, just one. Okay, Commander's going to do some work. Damn, that second harvester goes down. Yeah, I think this is over. Gavin wins this. For sure. I play with the Chinese communities, but language becomes a serious barrier. Yeah. I mean, the other thing about Chinese communities for video games is that they tend to be on their own entirely separate system. I mean, you've got APAC, Asia, I mean, whatever it is for a lot of games, but that doesn't include China because of, you know, Great Firewall. Which is why you get the same ping to Germany as you do to Beijing. Because it takes 80 to 120, 140 milliseconds to get through all of the virtual checkpoints that the Great Firewall sets up. Which is why games companies essentially set up Chinese servers and Asia excluding China servers.
That was left-handed.
First time we've seen Wolverines in the tournament. Kind of totally not the unit to build. But nice to see him. If Gavin hadn't built them, I think he could completely walk over Fox. But they don't really have the DPS versus Fox's army now. Fox is probably broke. No? Okay, fine. Fox has a war factory and not a Rax. 2 war factory. Oh no, he does have a Rax, excuse me. Fox's eco is fucking insane. 700? He just has like 0 army. 2 banelings. 1 interloper, 1 devourer, 1 annihilator. Why is he not building out of his racks? He literally has the money, but he's literally not building out. He just lost his racks. Never mind. I realized. My best bet is NA on West Coast server, ping range from 150 to 280, and it's only 7 hours difference. Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're not doing competitive stuff,
anything under 150 ping is fine, especially if you're and I'm not joking here, especially if you're like 30 or older, because you have a nice EMP. Because frankly, like you're just playing to have fun, and 15 years ago, 20 years ago, your internet was so bad, you played with that fine, and you'll notice it, obviously, 150, 200 ping, but you can probably live with it. More than 200 ping, and then you notice it, and it can get annoying, even if you're not playing competitive. Kevin, really? I mean, the EMP didn't achieve anything. It was a, you know, but as a flex move, really nice. They're going to be started on the dark days of early broadband. I never had, or I don't remember back at my parents' place having dial-up, but I remember being sort of 5-ish, 6-ish, playing RuneScape and hearing my mate's mum's phone call coming out of, I was at my friend's playing on the family computer, hearing his mum, the sort of telephone call sound coming out of the computer sort of speakers, because the internet was running through dial-up. Yeah, I mean, I remember it. I grew up on 2 megabit when I was 5 or 6. It was probably much slower when I was younger.
Battle control terminated.
700 ping on German servers because the US would close after school. I never played much multiplayer in anything as a kid. I never had a games console until I was like 13. And PC gaming, apart from Warcraft 3, Frozen Throne, like modded games, played a lot of I played a fair amount of Dota, Tower Defense, and other sort of modded games. But I would have been sort of 14, so 2006-7 to 2010. But before then, hardly played any multiplayer, apart from RuneScape. Right. Did I miss Gavin versus Kasib game? Gavin versus Kasib game 2. Yes, right. Q-Fox going Soviet. Last game.
Battle control initialized.
But no, I never touched multiplayer stuff when I was a kid. Not for any particular reason. I just didn't. And sort of growing up, a lot of my mates didn't play the same games as me. I never had a console. My parents... I had a computer from a very young age. From like the age of 2. And growing up, my parents were like, you've got a computer. You don't need a games console. You'll just spend more time playing video games. And it took until I was 13 and the Nintendo Wii had been out for like 6 months until I could essentially sort of thought about and was able to vocalize the idea that if you think I spend too much time or a lot of time playing video games, and I'm at school as well, you know, I'm at 12, 13, 14, I think I'm spending all my time playing video games. Buying me a console won't mean I spend more time playing video games, because I'm already spending all my time doing it. I can't create more time. I'm just going to stop playing PC games as much and play more console. And I was able to, you know, we came up with that, spoke to my parents, and my dad was like, sounds perfectly reasonable for me. You know, we'll buy it for you for Christmas. And that was that. But until the age of 13, I never had a console, never had a Game Boy, never had nothing except a PC. So with 56k, I used to have to beg my mom to use the phone line to play Tiberian Sun StarCraft. I don't know when my dad always worked in IT and tech, so which is why I had a computer from a very young age. It was a sort of work cast off. And he was a very early adopter of DSL. But my parents, I grew up in the middle of nowhere. And so I had 2 megabit download until fuck knows 2008, and then 8 megabit download until like 2015 2016 at my parents' place. By 2016 I've moved out and gone to uni, but I mean, it was, their internet speed was terrible. You know, I remember downloading stuff overnight on my PC, waking up the next morning, checking my PC, the feeling of it crashing, cancelling, something breaking. I feel that. And being in the countryside, the internet signal was not stable because it was over copper telephone lines. Kids these days don't know about internet stability. You know, ping is speed, megabits per second is, oh sorry, ping is latency, megabits per second is speed. Packet loss was the real issue for me as a kid. Early broadband here didn't even reach 1 megabit. I imagine that's what I had around the year 2000. Yeah, still over copper lines. I think my parents is still over. Is it still over copper? No, it can't be. Can't be. The UK is, in theory, doing away with copper telephone lines. In theory. By like 2030, 2032. Like, we started this year taking them down and doing it all over Ethernet where possible. One of the reasons why after uni I've always lived in a major city. I've gigabit internet. Sort of gigabit internet here. Half gigabit internet when I was living in London. Go political and lambast my government because we were supposed to. Australia, I don't know the details, but I know that sort of 10 years ago, give or take some years, Australia was like, it had some nightmare with internet sort of infrastructure shit. Like, you know, there were jokes about Australians' internet speeds, and they had this giant plan to do this, that, and the other, and it didn't happen, and it failed catastrophically. I have some sympathy for Australia. It's an exceptionally large country with not a lot of people living there. Nice snipe on the oil by Fox. I mean, there's not many countries in the world that can sort of relate to Australia. Certain states in the US are probably the closest you get in terms of people living there versus amount of land. But even the US, you got federal funding for shit, right? Whereas, yeah, basically California and New York to make up the difference. Australia doesn't have that level of, that sort of magnitude of extra financial oomph. Size of our country should excuse. Infrastructure is super concentrated. Well, assuming that it all still works where there's cities, that's my point about I think Australia gets a bit of a free pass, but only in the rural areas. If it's still shit in Sydney, Canberra, Darwin, etc., then that's like not cool. Where a more dense population, it would only count. where people live. Yeah, my point is Australia is absolutely massive. You're out city Melbourne. Yeah, okay. In that case, there's no excuse for not giving you decent internet speed. Um, 7 minutes in. Hardly spoken about the game. Not really much to talk about the game. Fox hasn't. I mean, okay, expanded to one new tip field. Gavin expanded, but expanded slightly more aggressively. Built up some defenses there. Nice push by, excuse me, Fox. Can Fox translate this into anything? No. Gavin, second game with the mobile EMP. I've seen mobile EMP one game in round 1 and 2, maybe 2 games in round 1 and 2, and I'm certain Gavin was the one who built the mobile EMP. No one else seems to be trying to use them. Gavin, it might not be necessary to win the fight, but it helps, and he's deploying it at exactly the right point. 460 megabit if I want to pay premium. If I move above 10 minutes up the road, get one. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works, internet. I actually have two internet providers, because when I moved into my flat, I'm bearing in mind where I live, 250,000 people live here. Small city, large town, not the middle of nowhere. My internet service provider had major problems with the upload speed. Virgin Media, not a small internet provider either, not a small company, and it took months to go back and forth, and the end result was basically they did nothing. So I ended up having to get a second ISP. I put it down to COVID and everybody being at home, and Virgin Media basically not guaranteeing their upload speed, only their download. And for streaming, obviously you need upload. And it was 3-4 megabit upload. Not enough for streaming. But by that point, I was locked into an 18-month contract. RIP. Okay, nice sideswipe by Fox. Slightly unfortunate that he ran right into Gavin's army. EMP tanks, again. EMP doesn't do friendly fire. Honestly, that makes it even more fucking OP. He actually built a Halo? Okay. Blame the 80s and 90s for a lot of today's woes. Yes and no. I think technology and infrastructure is this might not be what you mean, but technology infrastructure and infrastructure in general is stupid expensive. You cannot do it every time a new bit of tech comes out. And 80s and 90s was when you needed to start going, you know, a lot of countries in the West started going with ICMP on the MCV. Can he actually get it? Yeah, okay. 4 or 5 mediums will knock out the MCV. Easy. Kirov? Mammoth? Nice. Not enough. Western countries started building up infrastructure for sort of internet because it was a new thing. But once you build it, great EMP, no second EMP. Okay, I take it back. I was going to say no conversion into real damage. But he sent in one so that his army wouldn't get any damage. Then sent in the second when it was all EMP'd. And his army is already moving. Gavin's EMP tag game is absolutely on point. I love it. So what you meant? Yeah, I assumed it wasn't what you meant. What did you mean? Commando. or it's not quite enough. And this might not be the end, but it's the beginning of the end for sure. Fuck me, what was that? Is it the plane? Yeah, it must have been. Probably. Oh, I see. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a capitalist at heart as an ex, you know, as an ex-finance hedge fund guy. I am a capitalist, but I do sort of think critical national infrastructure probably best handled by the state. Nice exo drop. Again, Gavin on these EMPs. Not only is it really nice to see something that nobody else is doing, but also Gavin is doing it really well, consistently. Across both of his games, plus a game in round 2. He built EMP tanks. Not sure he built them in round 1. Game in round 2 when he used EMP tanks. Don't know if he won or lost, but it was effective. I remember that. Didn't know it did friendly. Neither did I. In Tib's Sun Firestorm, when you get EMP tanks as GDI, I'm pretty damn sure they do friendly fire. The fact they don't do friendly fire makes them utterly OP. Genuinely OP. And how much they cost? $11.50. Not cheap. Same as a Soviet heavy tank. Heavy tanks $11.50 or $1100. Yeah, I'm showing off the power of Rad Troops. Yes, they do friendly fire in CA. They didn't just now, Legato, or like 5 minutes ago. And there we go. Gavin wins game 2. That was utterly devastating for Desolated. For Desolated did a lot of work. A fair bit of expansion. 3 racks behind this. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Last time I used one, I EMP'd myself and missed the enemy. I mean, I can try and rerun this through. I can't remember the timestamp. Rad Troopers are really good in this. If I do run the tester, oh shit, yeah, you can probably do that faster than I can. I don't know. I need to get to like 12 minutes. I'm at 3.5 now. Let's see who can do it first. 5 minutes. 6 minutes. Slowing down as more units get on the map. Max speed 7. So like 12 over here, right?
Let the games begin.
Oh, hang on. 2 times speed. Here we go. Okay, hang on. Here we go. Okay. Wasn't in range. Yeah, okay. Honestly, that makes it even more impressive what Gavin did. He was able to micro the EMP tanks outside of range of his mech army. Right, well, that was that. The first 6 games of round 3. Note. Gavin versus Hasib. Cool. Honestly, Dark told me that includes what he thinks is the best game of the tourney so far. I think there were several games which were better than everything we've seen so far. They do friendly fire, but they don't EMP each other. Okay, so you can send in a couple of EMP tanks and then set them off one by one. Got it. I really like what we saw. I think literally every game without fail. Yes, I think literally every game without fail was different to all the round 1 and all the round 2s that we've seen. All of them seemed a bit calmer, a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more, not necessarily passive at the start, but that's what I mean by thoughtful and calmer. Players weren't just smashing units into each other. And that obviously, you know, ends up leading to very different games. Round 1, round 2, most of the games were smash armies together, you know, and games are over quite quickly. Even those slightly longer games didn't feel like any of the ones we saw today. No. Really great games. Really great games. So these are the first 6 of 12, in theory, as long as nobody bails out or forfeits. I got sent these today by Dark, so the other 6, I'm not entirely sure when the deadline is. Probably not for another few days, so I will come back with more of these. Around 3 matches. Leggy, I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. Thank you very much, man. As I've said before, I have no idea why I take the piss out of you more than any of the other CA guys. It's not that you're around more than them, because it started before that. I feel like it must have been because I saw people taking the piss out of you in the CA Discord sort of the first time I jumped in. And I sort of thought, yeah, I'll jump on that bandwagon. So I appreciate it, man. It's funny. Good. I'm glad you got a sense of humor. Leggy, you should teach me some CA at some point. Jump into VC and you can help me cast. Even if it's just a couple of games. If you want to, I'd love to. Reminder, the deadline for these games is Wednesday, the 3rd of September. Right, okay. So today's Sunday morning. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, I won't cast the rest of these until 3 or 4 days. Be down? Awesome, man. In that case, next time Dark sends me replays, I will drop you a message and ask when you're free. You know, these don't need to be casted the same day Dark sends them to me. So if you've got some time, then I'll fit around you. Because honestly, I don't have the expertise to do this. I've got experience casting, but not with the deep CA stuff. You know, the amount I look at you in the chat and sort of parrot what I see you type is quite a lot. You know, cast one CA game a few weeks ago and felt it come out okay. Casting is casting. You talk about whatever. Everybody has their own little style. I always used to prefer casting with other people anyway. I always work better with somebody else on VC. Anywho, is there anyone to raid? Oh, well, hang on. It's just quickly. I don't think this has been updated while I've been streaming. Dark might have done a few. No, he hasn't. Okay, well, we'll come back to this at a later date. Is there anyone to raid? I probably won't do a stream tomorrow, which means I'll be back on Monday. We'll go and do some more Tiberian Alternative, which is obviously the OpenRA mod by Dr. J, who is, I am told, going to start working on some combined arms missions. and I'm really, really, really enjoying the stuff we're seeing out of the Tiberian Alternative. And I think he would work very well in CA. Very, very well indeed.